If you ask me, I think Kyrie Irving is the best ball handler in NBA history. When it comes to ball control, depth, effectiveness, and creativity, it's tough to say there's anybody close to Kai. But outside of his handle, Irving has always been a really well-rounded offensive player. And his performance in Charlotte during the 2022 season was a perfect example of that, where Irving dropped 50 points on just 19 shots. And pretty much all his buckets throughout this game were done with 2 dribbles or less. Now before we dive into Irving's scoring throughout this game, I first want to look at how he fit with this current Brooklyn team. This was the time period when Harden was out, and it was just him and KD running the show. And because Irving was sharing the floor with somebody who was actually a better scorer than he was, Irving did a big chunk of his work playing off the ball. Take this play for example. He's going to pitch the ball over to Seth Curry, then sprint and set this pit down screen for Durant. But as soon as he catches, Irving's going to clear out and give KD all the space to work with.
Durant isolated on Bridges, catch.
And because Irving was such a problematic scorer with the ball, the Nets could use him as a decoy to set up different actions. Look how he's just going to clear out the ball side corner to give himself space to isolate, which pulls the weak side defense across, giving Patty Mills the breathing room to blast off his pin down screen. Now Irving on this play is just going to flash up and catch right at the nail, and this again pulls the help down, setting up another open in rhythm 3. Now during this era of Nets basketball, I don't think Irving gets enough credit for his point guard skills. He was very good at both leveraging his scoring to create advantages, while also make the simple read. We'll see him here get this easy blow by to his right, but watch him veer back into LaMelo, which pulls the help down further in gap. This delivery here was super tough, where off the catch, Irving's going to extend the ball out to his right and cross it to his left. Then with one hand, he's going to shovel this pass through to Andre Drummond. Now despite all these playmaking reads, the Nets in this game utilized Kyrie mostly as a spot-up threat.
Extra feed, how about Irving? On a 3.
When it comes to just shooting, this is easily the most underappreciated part of Irving's game. He's constantly shot over 40% on all his catch and shoot threes throughout his career, and when getting into looks off the ball, he literally checks every possible box. He gets into his jumper quickly, he can shoot on the move, plus he's comfortable taking looks from well behind the line, and all those tools were on full display against Charlotte, where Irving was able to fill in the blanks and capitalize on all sorts of breakdowns. And it can't be overstated how valuable Irving's spacing was for Brooklyn's offense. If he's spotting up in the opposite corner, the defense can't afford to bring help from the weak side. And if the ball side help slides over just slightly too far, it's going to be really tough to recover back over. And if Kyrie gets any sort of space off the catch, he's rising up with no wasted movement. This shot here was crazy, where the Hornets are first going to double KD with the ball, so in response, he's going to spray it across to Irving in the opposite corner. And look how Irving is going to catch right above his left shoulder, and all he's going to do is bring it across to his right, while loading up from his knees and hips. And from this spot, he's in the perfect position to elevate. But again, on top of those swift mechanics, Irving also had ridiculous range. He's going to catch the ball 35 feet out, and watch him dip his knees slightly lower, giving himself the leverage to generate more power into his release. So because Irving was accurate, could get a shot off quickly, while also being a threat from range, this commonly forced aggressive closeouts towards the ball. And like we went over, Irving was a more than willing passer, so these typically led to more easy shots for Brooklyn. So because Charlotte couldn't afford to ignore him, this also opened up the paint for the rest of Brooklyn's offense. And when Irving wasn't on the floor, the Nets' lack of spacing was pretty noticeable. Nick Claxton here is going to slip out of the screen, but look how the Hornets are comfortable sinking down to clog up the lane.
Claxton puts it down in traffic, trying to get back to.
And what I also love about this version of Irving was that he was always looking to shoot in the most simple and direct ways possible. If he had space off the catch, his first option was to always look to shoot. Watch him here just catch and face up with the defense, and when he feels that he has space, he's going to bring the ball up to a set point to fire. And that simplicity also carried over to Irving's game off the dribble, where again his first option was to always look to shoot if he had space. We'll see him here catch off this pitch and look to put his head down. But when this drive gets cut off, Irving's going to slam the brakes by planting that left foot and sliding the ball through. Then he's going to read the defense having their hands dropped, which allows him to settle his feet and fire. And because Irving was a legit shooting threat off the dribble, this forced the defense to step up and pressure him with the ball, which then made it easier for him to get blow-bys and put pressure on the rim. And once Irving committed to attacking, he simply had too much strength, skill, and control to deal with. We'll see him here blast off this cross screen in semi-transition. And notice how the big is already stepping up, expecting the shot, giving Irving the leverage to put the ball down and attack the rim. And watch how he's going to absorb this bump to then take one dribble and gather off 2 feet. And this allows him to rise up for a controlled 2-foot finish while the defense flies by. Look how the defense is again stepping out to pressure, so Irving's going to pivot that right foot back, allowing him to push and explode past the defense. Then he's going to slice past the help, gather on 2 and jump into contact. Off the bounce, Irving also had really underrated patience and control. He was great at protecting the ball, reading the defense, and navigating to the right spots on the floor. Look how he's going to wave KD through from the corner, which gives him more time and space to play one-on-one. And he's just going to lower his shoulder to work Rozier down, to then briefly hesitate and separate for a quick step back. This shot and move here was super tough, where PJ Washington is going to switch out on the screen, and he's able to stay attached on Irving's first couple of moves. But as he attacks across the paint, watch him again lower his shoulder through contact, to then take one dribble and rise up for a quick right-left jumper.
Irving elevates and
So that right there was Irving scoring 50 points with no wasted dribbles. Over half his shots were spot-up threes, and when he put the ball down, everything was direct, either capitalizing on the defense giving him too much space with pull-ups, attacking through contact and playing off 2 feet in the lane, or using his strength and patience to bump his way to spots in the mid-range. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.